What up, team? I'm back home. I'm back on the internets. Hope the summer has been treating you fantastic. Sun, fun, chips, chicks, whatever you're out there chasing after, I hope you've been getting lots of it and having a blast in the process. I know my summer has been off the charts so far, and we only halfway through. So I have a special announcement at the end of this video that I think you'll be very happy to hear. Hint, it involves free money and quite a bit of it. Now, just before we get into it, so I don't waste your time if this isn't something that you're interested in this video, I'm going to go over my Vegas experience, what happened out there, some of the things I learned, some of the experiences I had, and I also want to be straight up with you. I spent the last hour writing everything down so that I don't miss anything. So if you see my eyes go away from the camera like that, yes, I'm looking at a script. Cool? Anyway, let's get into the question that's on everyone's mind. Gripst, where the fuck are the vids, man? I want to get stacking and you have been slacking. I know. How am I supposed to stack without them Gripst vids? Well, let me start by saying I'm sorry that the frequency of the videos hasn't been what you've grown accustomed to. That's because, well, first off, I was in Vegas forever, and since I got back, I've just been on a grind. I'm working on stepping up the quality of the videos, which will mean a temporary but not permanent decrease in quantity. I'm also working on my second book, which upon its completion is going to do way more for you than any video series I've put out, and probably any video series you've ever watched. Yeah. I am that confident that this book is going to revolutionize the way you think about the game and make you a lot of money if you apply what I teach in it. It should be ready sometime in August. I'm about halfway through it at this point, so bear with me. I look forward to giving you your new Bible. In addition to said Bible, starting in August, I will be back on YouTube, releasing a few videos every week. There's also a big surprise coming on Tuesday, so make sure you check back in for that. Also, if you want to start getting the most out of your study time, start following my recent activities on YouTube. I think there's some feature where you can see what I've been doing recently rather than just what I've been uploading. Maybe that's something I have to do on my part, but anyway, I'll get it done. You got to see my recent activity, not just my uploads, because I'm going to be liking and sharing videos that I think you will find beneficial for your development as a player. So even if I don't upload something that day, I'm going to make sure that there is content fed to you every day that is going to help you develop and help you become better. I'll be sharing this content through YouTube as well as Facebook and Twitter. So whatever social media is your fancy, keep following and keep up to date on that content. So you can rest easy. I am not leaving you. I didn't have some epic summer. I'm like, you know what? Pfft, I don't need this script shit. No, I'm here for the long haul. I've just been taking some time to make myself better so that I can give you better content. And of course, a more effective educational experience. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Vegas. Woo! Vegas. This summer in Las Vegas was by far the most fun summer I've ever had out there. And I've been going to the World Series for probably 7 years now. Let's see, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yes. No, wow. 8 years I've been going to Vegas. That's crazy. And everything just always felt right. I felt at home as soon as I got there. It was an awesome time. I cashed 2 of the 4 events that I played. That was the 1500 Monster Stack and of course the 10K main event, netting a profit of around $15,000. I felt super confident in my poker game, my social game, and my life game in general. It's nice that all the hard work leading up to it and all the time I took away from poker paid off during poker. I'm going to talk a little bit about the various successes I had and how they tied in with the goals I set at the start of the year. It's pretty cool. It's like the universe was constantly giving me reinforcement to let me know I was in the right place and doing the right thing. For example, once I checked into my hotel room, unpacked my things, I went downstairs to check out the scene. I was staying at the Rio because I wanted to be able to go to my room on breaks, especially dinner breaks. It's a nice luxury to have. So I go downstairs, check out the this room you can see in the picture is the pavilion room. It's mostly where the cash game stuff happens, but I know where the real action happens, which is the Brasilia room. So I step into the Brasilia room first, and who do I see? You guessed it, Greggy. You're like, yo, slave, I just busted from this tourney. Want to come with me to Ridge for one drop? I was like, sure, dude. Why wouldn't I want to roll with the champ while he buys in for a cool million? And I also got to see a little bit of what it's like to be the champ, because when he's walking down the hallways, people are stopping him, they're trying to talk to him, and it's hard for him to get where he's going. So it's important to be aware of how things change when you become like the champ. Anyway, on the way over to the registration room, I met a Team Grips member who I've honestly been hoping to meet for over a year now since she reached out, and man, she was fine. So a couple of great surprises out of the blue, and it just kept getting better from there. So I had 4 goals at the start of the year, and I'm actually going to start with goal number 2, which was to become the strongest version of myself, inspired by Calvin Anderson. And speaking of the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, big congratulations to my man Calvin on shipping his first ever bracelet in the $1,500 stud high-low event. Yes, he plays mixed games too. And also on getting 3rd in the 10K stud high-low world championship as well. This dude, he's just a beast. He might be the greatest of all time. He probably is. Anyway, all the meditation, fitness, diet, stretching, all the things that I've been doing with the intention of being able to maintain a high level of focus and play long hours without any pain in my body, really, well, that's why I did it. The reason I did all those things was to be able to play long hours and not have any pain. And although I still have some strides to make in this area, I was more comfortable in my chair than I've been in 3 years. I was able to sit through the 10, 12-hour days without really getting too uncomfortable or annoyed in my, low back region. The older people watching this video know exactly what I'm talking about. And this helped me deal a lot with the stressful moments throughout the tournaments. I could see the fatigue on other people's faces. I could see their energy melting away as the day progressed, as they ordered round after round of Red Bull, espresso, coffee, tea. And it was really reassuring to know that I was not going to feel those same effects and that I was not going to have to use those same supplements. The winter and the spring training went very far in terms of helping me with this, but the biggest thing that made the difference was maintaining my regimen in Vegas. Usually when I get there, I start eating that American food. It's really not all that good, but this time I went the extra mile. I found a farmer's market, courtesy of Tony Gregg. One of the first things that he told me when I got there was, oh yeah, we got this place called Sprouts nearby. You should check it out. And this place had everything. Everything fresh, everything organic, so pure. So I went grocery shopping every 3 days. I was eating the same power-packed breakfast that I eat when I'm back home in Toronto. And I would get a little exercise in to keep the testosterone levels high, but not so much exercise that I fatigued myself. Because at this point, I'd done the hard work before I got there. At this point, it was just about maintenance. We call this tapering in athletic training. And of course, I stayed hydrated as fuck. Big thanks again to Cal for getting me onto the One coconut water. It's really delicious stuff, and it helps keep the electrolytes balanced in the system and keep the energy up. So you don't want to drink exclusively coconut water, but it's a really good thing to mix in with your regular water The other alternative is you can sprinkle some sea salt in your water to get a similar effect to coconut water. Anyway, half coconut water, half spring water, all A game, baby. All right, so goal number 1, which was to create a strong presence, not just a table presence, but a strong presence in general, and that was inspired by Tony Gregg. Tony has taught me a lot about poker, but the biggest lesson he gave me was that inner peace and confidence in the path that you are on will do way more for your success than any single strategy or play that you may learn. And I was really fortunate to get to spend a lot of time with him and Greggy while I was in Vegas this summer. Over there looks a little better. Yeah. They had a house that was off the strip, so I could go drive up there, chill at their place in their backyard by their pool. They also happened to be located like around the corner from the best Thai massage place in all of Las Vegas. So that was very convenient. And being around these guys gave me a lot of confidence because, I mean, hey, I'm friends with some of the best players in the world, and it's not just by some fluke. I'm not just some guy who's always standing on the rail being like, yeah, like, you guys are awesome. No, I'm in there playing too. I might not be on their level yet, but I feel like I could be there, and it might not be too far away. So Tony and I made a big effort to keep our presence strong and our cheese flowing. We did a lot of yin yoga at Vegas Hot. I got a lot of Thai massages from that place they had around the corner to keep my body limber and free of blockages. For those of you who aren't familiar with Thai massages, it's not like the regular Swedish one where they like just, you know, rub you down or whatever. Thai massage, they like stretch you out, like they'll get your arms back like this and like crack you like that, and they're putting you in all kinds of crazy positions, but it really gets you loose and all these motions you didn't even know you could do anymore. You thought you were restricted in this range of motion. Suddenly you've just got it back. So that was awesome. And I also hit the Secret Imperial Spa a few times as well. It's a Vegas secret that only the locals know about, and now Team Grips does as well. And I did that to keep my system fresh and pure. They had steam room, eucalyptus steam room, sauna, dry salt sauna, ice bath, hot tub, clay room, clay ball room, ice room, lots of stuff. So really good for just balancing the system, purification. It may sound like a bunch of hogwash to you younger people watching the video who don't need this stuff, but trust me, this stuff makes a big difference, especially as you get older. If it weren't for these habits and these things that I do, I would not have been able to play anywhere near the level I did, and there's no way I cash the main event again. I also had a great morning routine involving meditation, movement, and music, which helped me get into the zone and snap my entire being into peak performance mode. This reminds me of one of the books I read on my way to Australia called The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. And I applied a lot of the techniques he mentioned in that book 6 months later at the World Series. It's funny how when you get a book, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do all this stuff and it's going to be awesome. And it takes some time for the information to like seep in and for you to really be able to apply it. But getting it read, getting yourself exposed to that system can make it psychoactive such that it just clicks in at the right time. So, yeah, that was cool. And yes, I mean, you can read that book, but I will also share how you can do the same things in the future and enter into that same state to get the results you want. We'll do some of that this year, but that's probably going to be what 2015 is all about. This year, get your game right. Next year, get yourself right, and magic will happen. So speaking of presence, I want to give a shout out to my rail, both virtual and real life. You guys killed it. Even on day one, I had like 4 guys watching me play, which is pretty intimidating to the rest of the table. And anytime things were going a bit sour, all I had to do was get on my phone, look at Twitter, and I got showered with positivity and well wishes. So thanks, team. You did a really, really good job this summer. Those tweets, like, they make a big difference. I was like, oh, right. I got lots to be happy about. This is great. So, Goal number 3 was win all the money, inspired by Greg Merson. And this one was a lot easier said than done because I did not win the main event, so I didn't win that Merson money this summer. However, I gained a lot of confidence that I will be able to do so in the not so distant future. My table draws in the main event were actually quite bad this year. On day 1, I played with Alex Livingston, who got 12th last year, Aaron Jones, and Igor Kurganov. The only big fish was on my direct left, and he was super loose, so wasn't really great. On day 2, I played with Jonathan Little, one of the most aggressive players out there, and Olivier Bousquet, who is an amazing heads-up sit-and-go specialist and has done some announcing for the World Series of Poker. And on day 3, I played with Eddie Sabat and James Obst. Now, those are just the big-name players I played with. I got sat with a ton of talented players, loose and aggressive, and usually on my left. That was the real unfortunate thing that, although sometimes there were some fish there, I'm not going to act like I had stacked tables, like 9 of 9 players were super wizards. But the setup of the chips and the setup of the styles of players that I had just really was not conducive to me being able to do much. And you may think, well, it's the World Series of Poker, like that's normal. But the truth is, if you have more than like one really good player on your table on day 1 of the World Series of Poker main event, like you got a pretty raw deal. The tables are only supposed to get really tough around day 5 and onward because there are just so many weak players in this field. Like there's 7,000 runners in this tournament. So like you'd expect to have a lot of bad players. Anyway, despite being severely handcuffed, I was able to make it to day 4 again, cashing for the 3rd year in a row and taking home $25,765. And also, which is kind of cool, I busted out within 10 positions of Phil Ivey, and I was in the same Poker News post as him. It was just a list of bust outs, but you know, like here's Phil Ivey and here's me. Same post. Kind of cool. One step closer to greatness, right? So, congratulations to all the lucky 7 winners who received $257 for their share of my action. Feel free to identify yourselves in the comments. I'm sure people will want to know who you are. And a huge congratulations to the overall points leader, Edvin, who received a Sunday Million ticket for scooping the top spots. Yes, when this thing popped up, I clicked yes. You may know him better as Net Worth 1 from a very recent MTT review video. And kid's on a bit of a heater. He also just won the Monday Twins Challenge. And I think he got 7th in the Wednesday Challenge too. So as soon as I told him like, yo kid, like this is the weekend, you're playing the Sunday Million, you earned it. He's like, I'm ready to go, man. And he's been getting it done. So because I know the power of a rail and the power of positivity, if you're around this Sunday, search him up on PokerStars, Greenspan 1, get on the rail and wish him good luck. He will be playing the Sunday Million representing Team Gripst. Hopefully, he will be the 2nd Gripster ever to win a W Coupe Challenge Sunday Million for Stacks of Cheese. And I want to give a shout out to Base for providing the badass avatar right there, which looks pretty sick. Now, y'all want stories? Let me tell you about my favorite hand from the World Series of Poker. Highlight hand of the series. So let's set the stage. It's day 3. I got moved to a table that was pretty good. But then they brought this dude from Philadelphia, put him on my left, who had a big stack, and he just wasn't letting anything happen. So I couldn't do shit. I had built my stack up to near 100K at some points, but at this point I was back down to 22K at 12.24, pretty deep in day 3. And you know what? I felt great. I'd raised folded ace jack on like 14 bigs under the gun. I was comfortable with this stack size. Last year I set the goal to perfect 15 big blind play. I think at this point I can say I've got a pretty good handle on it. Anyway, so we got 22K, 1224, and the rail is strong. I got Maddie, the super fan. Moyne Show's there. The doc is there. And they just picked up a lady, too. Because, you know, they're getting drunk, they're watching, they're going to be picking up chicks. There's some real hotties walking around the Rio during main event time. Her name was Victoria. And she definitely put the victory in Victoria. Like, yo, Evan, come over here. We found Lady Luck. So I go over, you know, say what's up. They're like, yeah, he's the guy to watch. And at this point, it's hilarious because I had 40K before this, and I just like went down and down and down. And she's watching, and I get ace jack in the cutoff. Shove it in. Big blind thinks for a bit. He's got infinite chips, and he calls with ace seven. I'm like, yes, we got this. Ace jack of hearts, ace seven offsuit. Flop 3-3-5, 2 hearts. Awesome, right? Turn king, river queen. And the funny thing is, like, half of my rail's like, yes! And I'm like, nah, dude, like, we didn't win anything. They're like, well, at least you didn't lose. They're just trying to, like, save face for the fact that they're just like, well, as long as the 7 doesn't come, we win. So whatever, we chopped that pot, but I felt fine. So Lady Luck's watching, we're having a good time, and then she decides that she's got to leave. So I go over, get a good luck hug, get a good luck peck on the cheek, and maybe a little... And she's off on her way. I sit back down, I'm in the small blind. Look down, I got queens. Victory has just left, and the lucky lady has now been replaced with 2 lucky ladies in my hand. Under the gun opens to 5100. This guy was quite bad. And the guy who had ace 7, who has tons of chips, he does something weird and then flats. And I'm like, I think that guy has a big hand, but I have 2 queens and like 9 bigs, so I don't care. I'm going with this hand. Another loose player calls who has a lot of chips, and it folds to me in a small blind, and I Helmuth it. I'm insta all in. I'm standing up. I'm going over, giving high fives to the guys. I'm like, yo, guys, we got this. We got the goods. Like, we're all good. Because I know I'm going to get called. You know, it's 17K more. There's like 30K out there. I know I'm going to get called. So I just want to show as much confidence as I can to hopefully only get 1 caller, not 2. And this is where it gets awesome. Big blind folds, and the under the gun guy asks the dealer how much it is, asks what the minimum raise is, and then proceeds to make the minimum raise. So now I'm looking at a double up plus the dead money of the 2 callers. Then the guy who flatted under the gun 1 asks how much the under the gun player has, gets a count, and says, all right, I'm all in. Next guy insta folds, and I am like, awesome. I'm gonna get, let's see, there's my 22K from the guy that called, 22K from the guy that's all in, plus 5100, plus the antes, plus the big blind. There's about 77K in the middle, and the first guy might fold. He thinks, throws it away. Now I'm looking at a 3.5x up to my chip stack. I'm up against the guy who chopped me on a 3-outer earlier, so karma-wise I'm supposed to win. And he's got ace-king. It's a flip. I'm like, beautiful. We got this. Board runs out, clean. We get the almost quadruple. And then I look up, and who do I see? But our guardian angel, Tim. Okay, so this picture is from, well, obviously the 2012 main event, last hand. You can see me on the far left. And there's this guy beside me with the big beard. People who watch the coverage are like, dude, who is that guy? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? I'm like, I don't know. And I met him the next year. He's friends with Maddie. He's a big supporter of like Team Greggy and everyone involved with that. And anytime he's around, good things happen. The day before had been like kind of slow. Late in the day, I pick up aces. I look over. Tim's on the rail. Later in the tournament, day 5 when I got aces, yeah, Tim was there. So when I looked up and saw Tim, I'm like, well, no surprise I won that race. You showed up at the right time. And I'm pretty sure that when I end up winning a World Series of Poker bracelet, Tim is going to be there maybe on a suck out, maybe not, but this guy brings good luck, and I'm very happy that he is in our circle of supporters. So that does it for the WSOP, but goal number 3 has not been accomplished yet. I still got to win all the money, Greg Merson style. So I've decided, you know, with the newfound confidence I have from the World Series, I'm going to play a few more live birds before this year is done. I'll be playing the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open in Florida at the end of August. I may stop through the Borgata in September for their World Poker Tour. I'll be playing the Punta Cana Poker Classic once again in November. Best tournament ever. And I hope to make my way down to Uruguay for the Latin America Poker Tour main event as well to finish the year in style. If you live at these locations, if you're going to be around those casinos when I'm there, let me know. I would love to meet you. My favorite part of the World Series was meeting Team Grips members, Gripsters on breaks. I had a lot of people come by my table, rail for a bit, tell me how the videos have been helping. I had some people stop me on break and be like, listen man, like, you didn't just change my game, you've changed my life. And some of the results people had were insane. Like, some kid won the Swedish Masters for like 200K. And he's like, yeah man, like, you don't know how big of a difference your videos make. So that was super cool. I mean, on day 2, 3 of the people on the table knew who I was. One guy, like, I raised it up, it folds to him, he looks at me, he says, take what you learned, go out there, and get stacking. And monks. And then like 2 other people like, oh, that's where I know you from, your Grips, that's sick. So like, it makes me feel really good when people come and say hi. So like, don't be shy. If you know me, you see me, come say hi, come say what up. I would love to meet you. It's fantastic. And in trying to make money, of course, there's the W Coupe as well coming up in September. And the main event pays quite a bit in that. So yeah, still lots of opportunities to make that money. I am confident that I can accomplish all my goals before the year is done. Sometimes they take a little longer than you expect, and you achieve them in unexpected ways. Like I thought, oh, I'll just win the main. Well, nah, I'll win something else. But they do come through. Anyway, enough about me. Let's move on to the next goal, which is all about us and all because of you. So goal number 4, we are going to build the poker training site of the year. Because 2014 is our year, and we got this. Training site of the year. I know it's a bold thing to go after. PokerStars has a training site. Although Phil Galfond has a training, Phil Ivey has a training site. There's been training sites around forever, and we're the new kid on the block. But I feel like we can win it because we're just so strong as a team. You know, like together, we're really strong, and the results keep on coming in. We had a guy just get 12th in the Micro Millions main. Like, they keep coming in. First off, if you haven't been on the site in a couple of months, you probably want to head on over to www.gripst.com. I put in a ton of work and a ton of money to make this thing look like a masterpiece, and it is well on its way. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. If you've been on there, cool. Keep reading what's coming up. Keep watching what's coming up. More good stuff all the time. To beef up the site and round it out more completely, I'm going to be writing 3 books. The multi-table tournament book is already available for purchase, and a lot of people have had great results since reading it. The Foundations and Cash Games book, which is the one I'm working on right now, it's going to revolutionize everything for you, should be available by the end of August. I'm really, really pumped about it, but I want to make sure it's perfect, so it's going to take as long as it needs. And finally, I will write one exclusively on how to play final tables before the end of the year. So basically, whatever kind of poker you are playing, there's going to be a book on that subject. And if you read them all, you will have what it takes to be a world champion on any poker tour. My goal with these books is to give you a more structured approach to learning the information, rather than bouncing from video to video and not really knowing what order to go in. I got a lot of feedback about that, like, dude, I just don't know where to start. Okay, I wrote a book. Read the book cover to cover. You'll be good. I'm also going to be stepping up the video quality. investing in a new camera and a new set, but more importantly, on the topic of video quality improvement, I'm going to start covering more topics than just MTT reviews and Project Get Me Stackins. I'm going to give you the full spectrum of poker training and put the edge in education. Yeah, I'm going to hook you up with all the cheat codes. Finally, I'm working on something huge that will tie in everything together and should be ready this fall so that you can be ready to take over the world in 2015. So that's it for what's been happening. Now, let's talk about what's to come. The big surprise that I mentioned was coming at the start of this video and involved a bunch of free money. The big surprise is the Gripst Summer League, where you can practice your skills and get paid in the process. Like the Lucky 7, it will be a series of tournaments running every weekend for the next 3 months. I got my feedback that the times weren't good during the Lucky 7, so this time it's all on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, reasonable hours. I will be adding $1,000 of my own money to be split amongst the top 10 finishers. I think it's actually like 1,090 or something. It's a little bit over because I wanted the payouts to look really good. So I'm adding over $1,100 or over $1,000 of my own money. There will also be Gripst swag given out and a special secret prize for the top finisher valued at over $300, which is on top of the cash prize you will receive. First place gets the most cash, gets the secret prize, and gets bragging rights as the Summer League champion. And yes, there will be events on PokerStars. Don't freak out. There will be events on PokerStars. In fact, half of the events will be hosted on Stars, and Friday is PokerStars Day. So the other half will be spread between 888, William Hill, and Carbon. You don't need to get set up yet. This weekend we will be sending out sign-up instructions via email, and there will be more info about the promo on the Gripst.com website, so you can get all the info there. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Yo, Gripst, I ain't got no way to get money on them sites. Well, yeah you do, bro, because I've got you covered. I was doing some networking. I met some awesome guys in Vegas who run a service to get poker players the best VIP treatments with the biggest e-wallet companies in the world, those being Skrill and NetTeller. The name of this great company is eWallet Optimizer. Surprise. And if you use the link in the description to sign up to eWallet Optimizer, you will receive $15 free on Skrill when you make your first deposit. You will get monthly cash back and a whole other slew of benefits. You will also be supporting Team Gripst. More on this in upcoming videos, but I just wanted to give you guys a way to get money on all 4 of the participating sites so that you can give yourself the best chance to win my monies. And yeah, you will probably want to open this account as soon as possible though, like right after watching this video, because it does take a couple of days to verify your identity with Skrill and Moneybookers, or Skrill and NetTeller. You do have to send in documents, proof of address, proof of age, and all that stuff. Once it's done once, it's done forever, but it takes a bit of time, so the earlier you can do it, the more certain you can be that you will have your e-wallet ready to go to get funds on the 3 sites for next weekend. Yeah, league starts next weekend, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to play in some of the events. I'm not going to try to win the leaderboard or anything, but I will play in some of the events, and I will be streaming some of the events as well. I may not be able to do the stream every week because I'm working on the book, I'm working on more videos, but at least once a month I will be streaming, and I'll give you guys feedback on your play, and I might play some of the Saturday events as well too. Oh yeah, Saturday events will be 6 max, Sunday events will be full ring, so you can choose which suits you better if you don't want to play them all. So yeah, that's the story of what's happened in Vegas. That's the progress I've made on my goals, how we are going to make the rest of the goals come true. And I just always like updating you guys on how I do what I do so that you can learn from me and do the same. So yeah, I'm ecstatic to be back, team. I've been playing, studying, working, strategizing. I mean, I even had a meeting with Google 2 days after I got back. That's pretty fucking cool. Whole shebang. And I'm looking forward to hooking you up with more material to keep you stacking this summer. If you want to do your part and help out, just keep doing what you're doing, Set goals, get those hands in, study, share your moments, share your big moments with us on Facebook to keep everyone on the team motivated. And don't be shy about sharing a Facebook post, retweeting a tweet that you like, or just telling people about Team Gripsed and what we're doing here. Word of mouth is everything. Because if you see something in a magazine, you're like, maybe I'll check it out. But when your friend tells you, this thing's pretty sweet, this thing's pretty good, you're way more likely to believe him and actually follow up and check that thing out. So you have no idea how big of a difference one small conversation or click of a button can make. I am forever grateful for your loyalty and very thankful to be your leader this year. 2014, it's our year, baby, and don't you forget it.
Yeah, we get it stacking. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. The flops I be smashing, the pots I be blasting. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. When the main event, man, that could never happen. The Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Now you're picking up traction, getting action. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking.
Stack it up, cash it in, damn I win again. Many friends come to play, cause I'm on the internet. Better yet, I flop the turn and take a chance upon the river. I'll bluff you with the 7-2 offsuit, whatever's clever, call you all in while your chip stacks falling. Better believe the dealer, cause the game just started. Don't know the rules, you bet it all and then you risk it. If you wanna learn it, you should go online and hit up Gripsit.
Yeah, we get it stacking. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. The flops I be smashing, the pots I be blasting. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. When the main event, man, that could never happen. The Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Now you're picking up traction, getting action. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Ever since a young cat, want a pocket stack with cash in the fast stack, crammed in the clam clip. Gotta get the action, gotta get it stacking. Dollars on the noggin, want a lot of transactions. Started as a little retarded, now with the knowledge, playing cards, flopping, bombarded, cause it was harder than I thought. Then I got on Grips.com, asking and got what I needed to be to me get it stacking. Yeah, we get it stacking. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. The flops I be smashing, the pots I be blasting. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. When the main event, man, that could never happen. The Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Now you're picking up traction, getting action. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Yeah, we get it stacking. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. The flops I be smashing, the pots I be blasting. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. When the main event, man, that could never happen. The Grips.com taught you how to get stacking. Now you're picking up traction, getting action. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Yeah, we get it stacking. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. The flops I be smashing, the pots I be blasting. Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. When the main event, man, that could never happen. The Grips.com taught you how to get it stacking. Now you're picking up traction, getting action. Grips.com